In this session, we will be discussing the questions from the chapter Management of Natural Resources. So as usual, we will be discussing 1 mark questions, 2 mark questions, 3 mark and 5 mark questions. So let's begin with the 1 mark question. So the first question is, which among the following gases are formed due to incomplete combustion of coal and petroleum? Option A, nitrous oxide, option B, nitrogen dioxide, option C, carbon dioxide, and option D, carbon monoxide. So here the correct answer will be carbon monoxide. Now question number 2, 3 R that help to conserve natural resources refer to which among the following? Option A, reuse, reduce and recycle. Option B, reuse, redistribute, recycle. Option C, reduce, ration, regenerate. Option D, all the above. So here we know the 3R principle is reuse, reduce and recycle. The correct option will be option A. Now coming to question number 3, which of the following is not a natural resource? Option A, water. Option B, fruits. Option C, tree. And option D, wooden board. Here we know that all the 3, that is option A, B and C, we derive it from nature. And the right answer hence will be option D, that is wooden board. Now coming to question number 4, identify the incorrect statement. So here the question asked is the incorrect statement. Option A, fossil fuel is not a renewable source. Option B, natural gas is not a renewable source. Option C, sunlight is a renewable source. And option D, coal is a renewable resource. Here we know that the fossil fuel is not a renewable resource. Natural gas is not a renewable resource, and sunlight is a renewable resource, and coal is also a non-renewable resource, but here it's given as a renewable resource, hence the wrong statement, and the right answer for this question will be option D, that is coal is a non-renewable resource. Question number 5, excess exposure to humans to UV rays result in A, damage to lungs, B, peptic ulcer, C, kidney failure, and D, skin cancer. So the UV component can affect your skin mainly and also the immune system. Now coming to question number 6, disposable plastic plates should not be used because option A, they are made of materials with lightweight. Option B, they are made of toxic material. Option C, they are made of biodegradable material. And option D, they are made of non-biodegradable material. So here we know that plastic is a non-biodegradable, that is it cannot be broken down into similar substance by the microorganisms. Hence the right answer will be they are made of non-biodegradable materials. Question number 7, which among the following are environment friendly practices? Option A, carrying a cloth bag to put purchases while shopping. Option B, switching off unnecessary lights and fans. Option C, walking to school instead of getting your mother to drop you on car or scooter. Option D, all the above. So if you read, you can understand all these are environment friendly practices. Hence the answer will be D, that is all the above are correct. Question number D, here identify the correctly matched pair of water harvesting system. So in the NCERT itself they have given these different traditional or the ancient water harvesting systems. So here we have the option is given like pines with Madhya Pradesh, Surangam with Bihar, Nadis with Rajasthan, and Kuls with Karnataka. So here pines you can see usually in Bihar, and Surangam in Kerala, and Kuls in Himachal Pradesh. So here they have asked for the rightly matched pair, so that will be option C. All the other 3, that is pines in Madhya Pradesh, no, that is a wrong answer, it is in Bihar. Surangam is not in Bihar but in Kerala, and again Kuls is in Himachal Pradesh. So here the right answer will be option C, that is Nadis in Rajasthan. Now Ganga Action Plan. So there is a mention of Ganga Action Plan in the first pages of the NCERT. So here the question is, when was it started? The option A is 1975, option B is 1985, option C is 1995, and option D is 2005. So here the correct answer is 1985. Now coming to assertion reason type of questions, as always assertion, if both the statements, two statements will be given, that is statement A or the assertion statement, and the next statement is a reason statement. So if both assertion and reason are correct and reason is the correct explanation of assertion, then you will have the answer as A. But if both the statements, that is assertion and reason, are correct but reason is not the correct explanation for assertion, then the answer will be option B. Now if assertion is true but reason is false, then option will be C. If the statement of assertion is false and the reason is true, then the option will be D. So let's begin. First question is, the polythene bags and plastic containers are non-biodegradable. Reason is they can be broken down by microorganism into simpler harmless substance. So here the first statement is correct, that is polythene bags and plastic containers are non-biodegradable. But the reason statement is wrong, they cannot be broken. Here it is written they can be broken down. So the correct option, that is assertion, is correct but reason is false. Hence the option will be C. Now coming to the next question, ozone is beneficial and damaging. So reason statement has been given as UNEP championed the cause of ozone depletion. So the ozone is both beneficial. Yes, ozone is beneficial because it prevents the harmful radiation. It prevents the harmful ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun. Okay, and why it is damaging? Ozone, we know that we are living in an envelope of air called the atmosphere, and in the atmosphere there are different layers. To begin with, it begins from the troposphere, then we have the stratosphere, then mesosphere and exosphere. So the ozone is usually present in the stratosphere, and stratospheric ozone is what we call as good ozone. But when the ozone is present in the lower layer, that is in the troposphere, the ozone acts as a source of pollution. So it results in pollution. Hence we call that tropospheric oxygen tropospheric ozone, or the ozone that is present at the lower levels is bad. Okay, so that is why the statement ozone is both beneficial and damaging. Ozone is beneficial in the stratosphere, but it is more damaging in the troposphere. And the recent statement is UNEP championed the cause of ozone depletion. Yes, that is the correct statement, but these are not the correct explanation. So the answer will be option B. That is both assertion and reason are correct, but reason is not the correct explanation for assertion. Now we have the one-worded question. Which canal has brought greenery to considerable areas of Rajasthan? So this is a straightforward question from textbook. That is the Indira Gandhi Canal. Now name two fossil fuel. The answer is coal and petroleum. Expand the abbreviation GAP. That is Ganga Action Plan. Now coming on to 2 mark questions. The first question is, why has it become necessary to look for inexhaustible source of energy resources? Now, why is it so important to go for inexhaustible source of energy? Is that because to reduce the pressure on the natural resources. Okay, we have the exhaustible resources are very much limited. So that is, for example, the coal reserves or the petroleum reserves, they will expire in few years. So we need to look for inexhaustible source of energy like the solar energy, the wind energy, etc. Now the second reason is that these reduce pollution to a considerable level. So we know that when we use this coal and petroleum, it produces carbon monoxide, which is very much harmful to our respiratory system. So if we use alternative sources like the solar radiation, or even utilize tidal energy or wind energy, etc., these are basically clean source of energy, so there will not be much pollution. So these are the 2 important reasons why we should look for inexhaustible source of energy. Now coming to the name 4 modes of traditional harvesting at community level. So this is about the ancient traditional water harvesting system. You can write whatever example you want. So these are the examples which I have selected. One is kuls found in Himachal Pradesh. Then we have khadis, tangs and nadis found in Rajasthan. Ponds in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. And then bundis in Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Now mention 2 causes of overexploitation of natural resources. Now why there is overexploitation of natural resources is that there is increased population and which require more resources. And the second reason is that there is also wastage of energy or the natural resources. People do not use the resources judiciously. So that is also the reason that causes overexploitation. Now, what are biodiversity hotspots? What is the measure of biodiversity? So, here in the textbook, forests are classified or forests are being mentioned as the biodiversity hotspots. Now, how will you assess the measure or how will you measure the biodiversity? It is measured based on the species richness. So, what do you mean by species richness? It is the number of species found in a particular area. So, that is one measure of biodiversity. Now, coming on to 3-mark questions. So the first question is, what are the problems faced by construction of large dams? So there are various problems faced by the construction of large dams. The first is that only a certain section of people, or you can say only the privileged class of people, get the maximum water because of the mismanagement. And the second issue is the construction of dam requires deforestation. It requires large scale of deforestation. Because of this, there is an imbalance in the ecosystem, and it also threatens the wildlife of that particular area. And now there is another problem of rehabilitation also. The people who are living in the forest area will mostly be tribals. So these tribal people need to be rehabilitated, or they need to be provided with the basic facilities like food, shelter, clothes, etc. So if we are using their land, or if we are using the place where they are living in, it is important for us to rehabilitate those tribals as well. And then another issue is that there is a disparity, or there is an inequality in the distribution of water. People who are living near to the canal get maximum water, and they grow water intensive crops like sugarcane and rice. And people further down the stream, they do not get enough water. So next question is, what is meant by water table and why is it important? So water table is the level of water underground, is basically the water table. Now what are the advantages of water table, or why is it so important? So first is, usually the surface water will evaporate, but groundwater will not be available for evaporation. So that will help, that recharges the wells by spreading out. So instead of evaporation, the stored underground water recharges the wells by spreading out. Now it provides moisture for the vegetation over a wide area. Then it is also a contamination free source of water. Normally the surface water will be contaminated from animal and human waste, but groundwater is relatively pure, and also it does not harbor any mosquitoes, or it doesn't provide any breeding ground for mosquitoes. So these are the reason why groundwater or the water table is important. Now coming to the next question, mention 3 stakeholders of forest. So in the NCERT, they have mentioned 4 stakeholders. So these are, first, the local people who are living in and around the forest. Then there is the Department of Forest under the respective state governments. Now the industrialist is also there, and now the wildlife and the nature enthusiast. So these are basically the stakeholders of forest. Now coming to 5-mark question, What is meant by sustainable development? Why environmentalists insist upon sustainable natural resource management? Give any 4 reasons. Now, sustainable development is that development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Now, environmentalists insist upon sustainable natural resource management because non-renewable resources are very limited and we should use them judiciously. Now, we should encourage the use of renewable resources like solar energy, wind energy, or the tidal energy. Now, we should preserve the environment for the future generation. There is a saying that we have not inherited this environment from our forefathers, but we have borrowed it from our future generation. So it is our duty to preserve the environment for the upcoming generation. Now the benefits of the controlled exploitation should go to the local people. Now you know that these local people are mostly not aware about their rights with respect to the forest produce. So it is important that when we exploit the resources, natural resources, the stakeholders, these local people or the local community being the major stakeholders, the benefit of that should go to these people as well. So all these are the reason why the sustainable resource management or sustainable form of development is being encouraged by the environmentalists. Now, explain in detail the 3R process of saving the environment. What changes can you make in your habit to become more environment friendly? So, here for the management of waste in a very natural way, we have 3Rs, that is reuse, recycle and reduce. Now recycle, this is basically associated with the non-biodegradable materials like the plastic. So these plastic materials we use, instead of throwing it, we can recycle and use it for some other purpose. Now reuse is also same way, like the plastic bottles which you have or the plastic cups which can be used to grow plants, etc. So that is one way of reusing the plastic, or these can be used to store some kitchen stuffs, for example pickles, etc. So this is one way of reusing it. Now reduce means to lessen the use of plastic. So you can refuse to take plastic bags from the vendors. Instead you can take your own cloth bags and then you can use it. So these are the ways by which you can reduce the use of plastic or other materials which are harmful for the environment. Now, how can we become more environment friendly? There are many ways. One is you have to properly dispose the waste. That is, we have to classify the waste into recyclable and non-recyclable. So then dispose it accordingly. Then wise use of electricity. Switch off the lights and fans whenever you are not using it. Then follow the 3R principle. Then use water wisely. Then reuse of newspapers and less use of plastics. Then use of bicycle instead of other vehicles, which promotes pollution. So these are different ways by which we can and use of public transport. That is one important thing. See, when you use public transport, the thing is the number of vehicles in the road will gradually decrease. So when the vehicle decreases, gradually the pollution will also come down. This model was adopted in Delhi because the lot of pollution was so high there. So they have tried something called odd and even number. So the odd number, like one day the vehicles with odd number will go to the roads. The next day the even number, the vehicles which ends in even number will go. So this is one method that was used by the Delhi government. And also they have been promoting the use of public transport by making it free. As an initial process, they have started it, given the public transport free for ladies. So now gradually they are planning to make it free for everyone, so that people are encouraged to use public transport. So these are various ways. And also you can use bicycle. Cycling needs to be promoted. We need to create more cycling pathways, so that cyclers, by those who ride bicycle, are encouraged. That is one of the most environment friendly ways. And also we can encourage the use of water transport as also. So this water transport is the least polluting source of transport, so that can also be encouraged. So these are various ways by which we can become more friendly, more environment friendly.